Hello, welcome to Data Beast and welcome to the tutorial 5 more about variables and strings. So last time we talked about variables but we never told about what's the operations we can do on strings, and we can just actually assign strings to a variable also. So yeah, today we are going to actually explore them. This will be a rather long tutorial, but don't worry, this is very fun. This is very fun part of Python. So we can get started. You don't want to spend more time. So yeah, what's a variable? Last time I said say like we can represent like single value, or you can just actually say num1, and we can assign any value to it. But this time we are going to assign a string to it. So string like here hello. You can give a space here. My name is Beast. Okay, assume it. You can do several operations with these two variables. You can have any some number of variables like y is equal to audience, something that's fine. So we can have any number of variables. Last time I said, and you should have to follow a rule for variables. You should never, the variable name never should start with a number. Never should never should have like at start a number, any symbol except underscore. Okay, so this is the condition for variables. Try not to use Python function names also. It's a good practice. Name can cause sort of errors. If you have any questions, you can ask there. So that's not what's the tutorial today. Okay, so we're gonna talk about what all operations we can do with these two variables and we can do with strings. So if you want to actually want to combine these two, like with this one, we can do like x plus num1, and there's a condition for this one. We cannot plus with an integer value. If this is an integer value, it will cause error, type error, because it's a string type and this is an integer type or floating point type. Okay, if it's number one. Okay, this if it is an integer. If it is a string, it will give a concatenated one. Here I can say hello beast. Since we give a space, it will also reflect here. See, when we do x plus num1, it gives hello beast. You can do x plus y, hello audience. But you can do something with integer in the string. I will say about it. Okay, so suppose you think like I'm gonna take off this one. Okay, so suppose you need to actually multiply, like a certain thing should be repeated in a string several times, like you need hello hello hello, like it's 10 times. Okay, this is 1, so almost it should be 10 hello. So if you want to do something like this one, you should do like x into 10. It will repeat and it actually give it to it actually repeats the string 10 times, and you should get the output something like this. It should have a space here, although early then it will have a space here too. Okay, so you can do a plus, you can concatenate to them, and you can do like multiply with an integer. This should be an integer. Never, like never should be like a string value. So that's it. And you can have like we can do, we assign this as a variables like num1 is equal to 10. I can do x into 10. I can x into num1. I can get the same output there. Actually, the variables just actually stores in the just in the memory. But if you just actually give directly into it, it doesn't actually store into memory, just actually do the operations. If you want to use in the future, we cannot use it. You should actually give the same value again there. So if you have something to be done twice or thrice, you should actually use the variables or variables. There is no power operations actually possible, or the division, or the like any operations like only plus and the star. All these operations. You have several operations you can do. So for the string, we didn't call strings right now. We can get the number of letters in number of the length of the string. Actually, spaces is calculated as a length. So if we do like hello, if we do len is a only variable for strings, and lists are called, all these things are called container. You can have any number of values. For an integer, it is just actually a single value. You cannot have a multiple values inside of it. Okay, so if we give the len of x, it has 1 2 3 4 5, and this is also calculated, so 6. It will give us a 6. So we are going to do all these operations in the Python programming. Before going into programming session, I think I need to tell some more operations about strings. Strings has a lot of use cases, so we need a lot of functions to be learned for the strings itself. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna take all this. Okay, so string has another operation called formatting. If you have to actually add in a variable, or like you had to add inside a string afterwards, you can have a placeholder then. If you call a variable called x and you started a string like this one, and you call like hi, I am age I am 6 years old. Okay, so if you have given an age in some other places like it is 6, you can actually add it here. So you don't know how to do it. You can do like two ways. I can call it two ways. One is called the format string, the other call is called f string. So formatting string, and the one is called f string. So you can do like actually add, or in a case like if you have several ages and you need to go through all of these, we will be talking about each of them. Then in the for loop we go into three all this, you can add here he is 6 years old, he's 7 years old, you can say like that. So we need to pick a placeholder there, like hi, I am, you give a curly bracket here, this is a placeholder, and you say years old, but didn't finish. We can finish here, but if you want to add like print x, it will print the same thing here. You need to give what the value is, so we need to do like print x dot format, and you can say there, if you have a couple of them like 1 2 or 3, you can do like this one 6, and you can give several values there, how many of them curly brackets you have. If I have only one, so I give like 6 there, and it will print hi, I am 6 years old. It will print like that. The other way is that x is equal to hi, I am string, so 6 years old. Okay, so x, you should do something like, you should give like f here, the first f, small f, then you start the string. Hi, I am, and give here, this is age. If you have only one single value, you can give here age, and you can stop the curly brackets here, and years old, and you can close the curly brackets. And when it prints the x right now, you can just actually see that hi, I am, here how many give? We give age is equal to 6. We should assign this value before doing this operation, so we cannot put here when it comes to this line they don't find the age one, so it will cause error. So you should give it here, age is equal to 6. I am 6 years old, and it will print, it will print like something like this one. If you print the x right, print x right now, it will be something like this one. So there are several operations you can do, and you can do like x is equal to x star. You can take here x star 10 means it will be repeated, and this curly brackets increases, and when you do formatting you should give 10 values there, so don't ever mess things up there. So we can get to the programming task here. So I will be talking about all of this here. So you can see here I assigned a professor to the name variable, and when I call the f string here, okay, I call this a f string, and with the start, and we said that we curly brackets and said that what variable should we project here, and said that it should be a name, and it should output my name is professor. I have two brothers named as, and I called curly brackets as a placeholder here, and can give here like format, and I give the first person should be Ben, and the second person should be name. Let's call it name here. And you can go here Raj. So then we print x comma y, and should be separated with a like a new line. It should print line a new line. Then I said I called a string called an asterisk and multiplication sign. It's a string. It doesn't do any operations, and we multiply it by 1. It means it should multiply just one time. That means the same itself. If you multiply it by 2, there will be 2 stars. If you multiply by 3, it will be 3 stars, and 4 and 5 like that. And here is we call it as again the format part. Here we did the format in the same string, but out here I just actually give the placeholder there, and later I put this name like format 1 2 3, and it prints the 1 comma 2 comma 3, and we can go like add, it should not be integer way, or it could be anything. I call here hello, my name is professor, and you can do this one. How are you? Okay, all this thing was amazing. But what if you need multi-line string? What do we do? If you need like hello, you need to put a whole conversation inside of something. What do we do? So that was Python actually implemented multi-string methods too. Also, it is called docstring because most of the cases it is used in the documentation purposes. We will be talking in the future. It is so complicated. For starting the multi-string, you should need 3 chords. It could be double chords or single chords, doesn't matter, and should stop with single 3 of them. Okay, it should be 3 of them. You can add anything inside of this one. Okay, and you can add here no matter what it is. But if we have just one string, do this one. See, it doesn't actually recognize as a string there. For we need to do multi-string, you should give three single quotes or double quotes. You can do single quotes, double quotes here. Yeah, hello. Then I said let's do all these things. Then I close it with three double quotes. So I'm gonna print it here. See this one. Hello, how are you? I'm fine. This is a conversation, so we need to be in a multi-line. So Python has given a numerous opportunity to do several operations on the characters too. So today we are going to run this program. See this one. My name is Professor. See, I give the variable here. It Professor. It gives the value of this variable name. I have two brothers and formatting as named as Ben. Then he give the name here, that is Professor and Raj. I multiply the string 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. This time I give the placeholders. If you don't give any value to it, it will print the same what it is in there. If you give the value with the format, you can see that 1, 2 and 3. It is given like that. There will be no curly brackets when it formatted. Just text placeholder. If the value is assigned, the curly brackets go off. Something like that. Hello, you can add anything inside of it. Hello, my name is Professor. How are you? This is a multi-string and it is printed in multi-way. You can give an empty string here to give a space there. Okay, something to give some space there. See, if we have a space there. Print should not doesn't actually requires a parameter, but if we give it will print it. If you don't give, it will print the new line. That's all. So that's it for today. Thank you.